Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hi and Assalamualaikum Doctor. I hope you are doing well. My name is Mahazira binti Rosali and my matric number is 1180214. Today, me and Undisciplined want to present a group presentation about one movie review which is Mersing 1961 which are related with communication law. So let's start now. So the introduction is the story that Dama, who known as immigrant who started a new life in another village. The characteristic Nordin Ahmad play as Dama, who migrated from Pahang with his brother and mother to settle in Mersing. Dama just want to live in peaceful and simple life with his family, but the people of Mersing see them as outsider and troublemaker, and soon begin to find fault everything that they do. So we know that Dama as an honest man. When Dama saved Sri, who know Sri Mersing because the beautiful girl in the village, he had fight with Awak Sulung. So the trouble start to build for the family. So the story, a devastating critique of social inequality and provincialism. The film portrays Mersing as a village driven by jealousy, pettiness, and vindictiveness. Almost every single person in Mersing is scamming and selfish. So Awang kidnaps Sri Mersing and turns around to finger Dama as a culprit. So, despite losing, Awas made a slander that forced Dama out of the village. And also, Siantan also accused Dama of practicing black magic on her, but because he did not reciprocate her feeling for him. Even Sri Mersing fathers, who know as Pak Malau, is brave, who beats his daughter, who found his daughter can marry his daughter. So suddenly, Awang Sulung create a story that he found Sri Mersing and his father forced her to marry Awang Sulung to advance his own social standing in the village. The villagers of Mersing will soon pay a terrible price for their sins when another group of outsiders, the neighboring tribe of Orang Asli, comes to Dama rescue. So it all ends in bloodshed and tragedy. So Sri brothers Pak Malau found out that Awang Sulung was actually the mastermind behind Sri's disappearance. Although Pak Malau tried to pursue Dama and his family to stay in Mersing, but Dama still want to leave the village. So after the incident, Dama and his family returned to Pahang. Despite being appealed by Sri Mersing and Pak Malau, Dama's heart was hurt and he still insisted on leaving Mersing because he was no longer willing the slander from people village to him. So I will pass it to my friend who want to talk about which scene related with communication law.
Mengapa Nando? Damak dari Awang Sulung dan orang-orangnya datang ke rumah mencari Datuk. Habis, mereka membawa Sri. Saya katakan Datuk ada di sini. Apapun mereka sampai.
Sri anak.
Ya, saya dapat Sri. Malam, saya dapat Sri. Tidak Pak Malau. Saya yang dapat dia. Sebenarnya saya yang dapat Pak Malau. Tapi saya terlambat bawa kemari. Dia bohong. Apa bohong? Ini semua tipu muslihat daripada Damak. Tidak. Itu bukan sifat aku, Awang. Aku bukan macam kau, penipu. Ya. Memang Awang penipu. Kami berdua beradik yang sebenarnya mendapat Seri, Datuk. Nyaris-nyaris kami mati.
Bohong. Masing-masing nak menegakkan benang basah. Saya yang mendapat Seri, ya? Yang mana satu yang betul ni?
Ya, yang mana satu mesti didengar ni?
Ayah, yang sebenarnya begini
Diam!
ya.
Orang tua bercakap, jangan campur. Pergi sana.
Sekarang aku nak bertanya. Siapa yang dapat Seri dulu?
Awang sulung Pak Malau. Dah terang Malau. Nampaknya si Damak nak mengotorkan nama baik kau.
Kau nak mengotorkan bumi Mersingnya. Dagang merempat tak sadar diri. Ya, saya tahu diri saya dagang merempat, Pak Malau. Saya tidak berniat nak mengotorkan bumi Mersing. Apa yang saya lakukan semata-mata ialah untuk menolong Pak Malau. Tapi janganlah Pak Malau cakap begitu. Oh, jadi aku tak boleh cakap begitu.
Pak Malau, aku tangkap mereka. Ikat.
Sabar, Datuk. Sudahlah. Cukup pembalasan saya dengan dia.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Hazgah Mida Mazlan. My masjid number is 1180215. Okay, now I will tell you the scene number 1, which is Damak was being slandered because of kidnapping Sri Mersing. Actually, before the accident happened, Pak Malau wanted to go to Pulau Tioman to check on his banana plantation there, and he asked Pak Suri to take care his family. But Pak Suri had to go to Endau, and he suddenly asked Damak to replace him to take care of Pak Malau's family. At that night, Damak went to Sri Mersing's house. At the same time, Awang and his group conspired to kidnap Sri Mersing despite they know that Damak was there. Suddenly, Deli, who is Damak's brother, came to inform him to come home now because his mother was sick. After they went home, Awang and his group started their mission to kidnap Sri Mersing. After Pak Malau returned, his wife told him that Sri Mersing had been kidnapped. Then, he asked his wife, isn't Pak Suri was the one who taking care of them? And his wife said that it was Damak. And he was very angry and said that Damak was responsible to this accident. After that, he made a report to Tok Penghulu and promised to marry his daughter to anyone who found her. Okay, as we know that Awang was Tok Penghulu's son, and Awang said that he promised to find Sri Mersing as soon as possible. On the next day, Awang and his gang very confident that they will bring back Sri Mersing. At the same time, Damak was able to find Sri Mersing first in the place where Awang hid her. Then, Awang saw Damak had brought Sri Mersing and forced him to hand over her to him. But Damak refused, and he said that he will bring back Sri Mersing to her father. Then, when they arrived at their home, Awang and Damak was arguing, and Awang said that he was the one who found Sri Mersing first instead of Damak, and Damak said actually he was the one, and Awang was lying. And his brother Deli also confirmed that they nearly being killed to get Sri Mersing. Then, Tok Penghulu and Pak Malau was very confused. Which one of them is the one who found Sri Mersing? Then, Tok Penghulu asked again, which one of them is the one who found Sri Mersing? And Awang's gangs said that it was Awang Sulong. After that, Tok Penghulu said that Damak was trying to cheat on Pak Malau because he is lying that he was the one who found Sri Mersing first. Then Pak Malau assumed that Damak was ungrateful immigrant and brought shame to Mersing. Then he slapped Damak as his punishment and let him go.
Fauzi, matric numbers 11802116. Okay, next scene 2. Damak accused of doing black magic against Siantans.
Dari mana kau datang?
Dari rumah orang.
Orang mana?
Orang muda.
Siapa bapa kau?
Aku tak ada bapa. Aku ada abang.
Siapa abang kau?
Damak.
Memang Siantan dah kena pulung. Siapa yang bawa pulung ya? Siapa lagi? Si Damak lah. Damak? Kalau begitu lebih baik si Damak dihalau keluar dari Mersing ni, Datuk. Ya, ya. Jangan dibiarkan orang yang menyimpan pulung tu tinggal di sini. Nandong, Tok. Kau panggil 5-6 orang kita. Ikut aku sekarang. Baik, Datuk. Jaga.
One night, Siantan was delirious as she mentioned Damak's name. This happened because Damak rejected the arrival of Siantan during the day for fear of being slandered by the villagers. So, Siantan was so sad because Damak does not like him. Siantan did not stop mentioning Ali's name until his mother was scared and worried and called the village head known as Tok Penghulu to investigate the cause of the incidents against Siantans. Then, the Tok Penghulu accused Damak of doing black magic against Siantans. After that, the Tok Penghulu and the villagers continued to Damak's house and expelled Damak and his family from the village for doing so to Siantan.
Apa maksud Datuk datang malam-malam hari ini? Aku tidak benarkan kau semua tinggal di sini. Keluar sekarang juga.
Mengapa Datuk menghalau kami? Apa kesalahan yang telah kami lakukan?
Anakku si Damak ada menyimpan pulung. Aku tidak benarkan orang menyimpan pulung tinggal di Mersing ini.
Tak, Datuk. Tidak. Damak tak pernah menuntut ilmu syaitan tu.
Mak Tanjung tak tahu di dalam perkara ini. Damak memang menyimpan pulung. Orang yang menyimpan pulung mesti keluar dari sini. Saya tak pernah belajar ilmu yang karui, Datuk. Ini semua fitnah.
This is because the Tok Penghulu and the villagers do not trust him anymore and do not want him to tarnish the good name of the village. But all this is slander.
Jangan banyak cakap. Pergi.
Ya. Kami orang miskin memang dipandang hina oleh masyarakat, Datuk. Sudahlah, Mak. Tak guna Mak menangis. Pergilah, Mak, kemaskan barang-barang.
Selepas mereka keluar, ya? Kita bakar rumah. Apa? Kalau kau anak lelaki yang tua, kau bakar rumahku. Ingat, sesiapa yang berani membakar rumahku ini, aku akan bunuh mereka. Aku tidak peduli lewat siapa sekalipun. Kau cuba nak tunjukkan jalan kau, ya? Kau fikir aku takut sama kau? Awas, di sini bukan tempat pergaduhan. Tegas keluar, Damak. Saya boleh keluar. Tetapi ingat, Datuk. Kalau rumah saya yang ditebakar, tidak ada lagi orang yang akan untuk bela. Mereka akan kau, Damak. Siap, Damak? Baik, keluar. Nampaknya aku bergeruh malam ini. Apa hajat Datuk datang beramai-ramai ini? Mana si Sri? Kau cuba melarikan Sri Mersing lagi, ya? Saya tidak melarikan Sri Mersing. Sepanjang hidup saya belum pernah melarikan anak dara orang, Datuk. Pendusta! Kaulah yang melarikan anak dara orang. Pelong! Awang. Jangan sedap bercakap saja. Mentang-mentang kau anak penghulu, kau fikir aku takut nak mentang kau? Kalau kau betul anak laki-laki, kau cuba, Damak. Ini anak Mersing. Apa? Anak Mersing boleh makan orang kah? Ini anak Pahang. Kalau kau berani masuk. Tangan saya luka, ya? Tangkap penyebar. Sama masuk, aku bunuh. Masuk, masuk. Masuk.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Hairunisa binti Taha and my matric number is 118012. Today I would like to share one of the scene from Sri Mersing movie that related to defamation. Okay, in this scene, Dama was accused of abducted Sri Mersing on the night of Sri and Awang Sulong wedding. This incident had happened on the night of the wedding of Sri Mersing and Awang Sulong. Sri was run away from home because she does not want to continue her marriage with Awang Sulong. Mak Banang wants to meet with Sri, but the door was locked from the inside. Mak Banang immediately called Pak Malau. Pak Malau tried to call Sri from the outside, but nobody answered. Then, Pak Malau kicked the door and found Sri had disappeared. Mak Banang and Pak Malau realized the loss of the child. Then, Pak Malau immediately went to the penghulu's house to inform penghulus about the incident had happened. Okay, actually, Sri had fled to the Damak house and was accompanied by Siti Payong, Sri's friend. When Sri and Siti Payong arrived at Damak house, Damak and his mother was shocked. They asked Sri what had happened and why Sri ran away from home. Sri tell that she do not want to continue the marriage. Dama and his mother asked Sri to going back home, but Sri don't want to. Suddenly, penghulu, Awang Sulong and the others arrived at Dama house. When they arrived, penghulu was called Dama from the outside. When Dama come out from the house, penghulu asked Dama where Sri, and penghulu had accused Dama of abducted Sri. Dama denied that he had abducted Sri, but they did not believe. After that, there was an argument between them. Okay. After that, they found that Sri and Siti Payong was at Dama house, and then they bring Sri back to home. Okay. In this scene, we can find that Awang Sulong and penghulu and the others have accused Dama without asking and the motion to check. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Okay, so do you have watched all of the scene? What do you feel? Pity, right? I'm really pity to Dama. But how's going on to the communication law? And what if Malaysian law apply this situation? So let's take a look to the communication law according to the scene. So now, scene 1. Awang Sulong, who is charactered by Mahmud Jun, he said, "He is lying. This is Dama evil scam." Okay, so according to Awang Sulong word, he can be prosecuted under the Communication Law, which is Defamation Act. Okay, now we going to scene 2. Penghulu lancang kuning, who is charactered by Yam. He said, "You take away Sri Mersing against, isn't it? Where's Sri Mersing? Where's Sri Mersing?" And then Awang Sulong said, "Hey liar, you kidnapped Penghulu daughter, right?" In scene 3, Penghulu also said, "Siantan has been put under an evil spell by Dama. We must get rid of him immediately." He also said that your son practices black magic. Okay, so according to Penghulu lancang kuning words, he can be prosecuted under the Communication Law, which is also Defamation Act. Okay, so if convicted, they can be sentenced to a maximum of 2 years imprisonment or a fine, or both, as provided under Section 500 of the Penal Code. Okay, in scene 1 also, Penghulu lancang kuning, who's charactered by Yam, he said that it is obvious that Dama is trying to cheat you, Malau. Okay, so according to Penghulu lancang kuning words, he can be prosecuted under the law communication, which is Sedition Act, because he's trying to seduce Malau. Okay, if convicted, he can be punished according to Section 41T of the Sedition Act 1948, which is a maximum fine of 5,000 ringgit Malaysia or imprisonment not exceeding 3 years, or both for the first offence. Okay, so from the side of communication law, we can see that Sri Mersing movie is really what we call really good, or really give us many kind of conclusion. Okay, because as we know from this movie, there's too much of the defamation and sedition scene.
So, as a conclusion, this movie very related with communication law, which is Defamation Act 1957 and also Sedition Act, because this movie review talk about being slender and incited others. So I want to talk a little bit the ending of this movie. Finally, Dama decided to leave Mersing because he was no longer willing to slander from village people to him. So before he go, he talked to Pak Malau one proverb which is hujan emas di negeri orang, hujan batu di negeri sendiri, which means however the advantage in the country or the people remains in the country itself is better, which means this is because we know more about the origin of our country and more comfortable compared to other countries. So when Pak Malau hear the proverb from Dama, he regrets his action to marry his daughter Sri Mersing with Awang Sulong, who considers him a good and honest man, but not on the contrary, it's not at all. We know when we watch the full movie, we know that Dama is a good and honest man because he very like to help people who is in trouble. So what the lesson I can take from this movie is we should not slander or incite others to help people we do not like, because this will give a bad reputation and also will despise the victim who is being slandered. Therefore, Malaysia implemented the Defamation Act 1957 and Sedition Act so that this case from Mersing movie can be curbed and the person who slandered and incited this can be convicted of offences related to the act, such as fines or imprisonment or both at once. So the advice I can take from this movie is we as a human being always be careful about the action we take so as not to offend the feelings of others, and also it is the best way to listen to both parties when case like this occurs, such as case being slandered or incited. So I think that movie very related with communication law, which is Defamation Act 1957 and also Sedition Act. So that's all from our group. Thank you very much for your listening. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.